Well, it was a win, so that part's exciting. I think, hats off to Illinois State. I think Barb Smith has done an incredible job with her team. I think that, they had balanced scoring. They really do a great job of getting all the loose balls, and I think that, it's something that we need to do a better job of, and it's something that we're going to continue to work on. And at the same time, I can really appreciate that that we finished out the game. And the nice thing is we got to finish out a game at home with a win to celebrate our two seniors. The other thing that I really like so far this season is we've had 3 different people hit really big shots when it matters. And, one's sitting next to me in Kendall Clark, and she's going to continue to do that in the seasons to come. And then 2 of them are freshmen. And so when you can have that happen, your future's bright. And I don't just mean future as in when they become juniors and seniors, and I know I've said this a million times, but I mean our future and in tomorrow and the next day, and hopefully that'll carry us into this tournament.
There were moments in the game where there'd kind of be a lull, and then Caitlin would just step up and make a basket and kind of create a spark. How much has this shown her growth throughout the season?
I think she's had a lot of growth throughout the season. It's kind of amazing because you get, this is one of those games where the first time we played them was our first conference game, and then the last time you play them, it's your last conference game. So you get to see, just looking offensively. Obviously, our defensive complexion has completely changed since the first time in going zone, but our offensive, our offense has gotten so much better, and it's become so much more of the reads that we've made on the floor. And I think there were a couple times that I really think that between Caitlin, Lizzie, and Kendall, they do an incredible job of reading. I think, Ashley Bartow today was an unsung hero in setting some screens. I think Liza Heaps the same way. And we missed a few shots that we normally make. And, again, part of that's us, part of that's Illinois State. So the growth of the entire team, but specifically both of our freshmen, and more specifically Caitlin Ingle, has been incredible.
This is also Alyssa's and Mary Pat's last game. How has it been with the past 2 years of seeing their growth and development?
They're 2 really, really special people, especially for me. And Mary Pat still saying she could have not come here when I came. She had the option to not, and she still did, and has been with our staff the entire time. And then Alyssa Marshner, from day one, has come in and been like, I'm with you. And when you have upperclassmen that do that, then it's going to help with our transition. I mean, she's an amazing story, and I know maybe today her stat line doesn't get to show what her story is, but the energy that she's given to this program, to this team, and more specifically to me as an individual, I will forever cherish.
Can you talk about your decision after Caitlin hit her shot to go into a full court press? Why did you decide to do that instead of kind of sit back and set up a defense for the half court?
Well, part of it, I think Lizzie and Kendall decided on their own. And part of it, which is, is fine. I think we did a great job of communicating that. But it was that we wanted to pick them up and be able to take some time off the clock and not just let them come down and run a set. And it's a completely different look than we had given them all game, and so it's not finding those spots in our zone, and so trying to switch it up a little bit, and it worked. I mean, they still got a good shot off, and we needed to get that loose ball, and we needed to make sure that we were a little bit more matched up, but players make plays, and that was one that I think they make them on the offensive end and they make them on the defensive end, and I think that was a read that Lizzie and Kendall made.
You've talked before how this is a game of runs. How did that come into play today?
There were probably too many runs today for my liking, and some that, there's times where, we made some really great runs, and then they started to make a run, and I believe in this team to not necessarily have to call the timeout the first time that they kind of start to get on it. And I think that's going to be growth for all of us, and it's growth especially for our players on the floor. There's times that you need to call those timeouts, but I think that we're at a point that we already know what we're going to say in a timeout, and we know what we're going to do in a timeout. And so I think we were able to, for the most part, sustain those runs to let them maybe catch us. And they took the lead a couple times by 1 or 2 points. But I think we did a pretty good job of then going on our own run. And the only time that we didn't was at the end of the game, and that's when we needed to go on another little bit of a run.
Kendall, how does this feel like getting your last or like home game of the season, before conference? How did it feel to get the win?
It was great. It didn't really hit me that it was the last home game until after the game when we were having senior day, and it was kind of that realization that, oh gosh, in a year that's me, and then obviously going and talking to the fans and them saying, okay, we'll see you next year. Like, that's weird. But, it's great to end on a win, even if it's just by 1 point, and even if, we didn't make those runs and we didn't put all the little pieces together. A win is a win, and we'll take it, and we're ready to go to the conference tournament and make a run there.
Can you talk, on Thursday you talked about how you were a little upset with yourself that you backed off a little bit in the second half. What did you do differently today?
I just try to let it come. My shot selection, I missed a couple of easy layups and should have put those in. But, I just think our team fought today. And, I don't think we played necessarily our best basketball. I think we can be even better, but I'm proud of this team for coming out with the win and continuing to look for those shots and continuing to look for those back doors and trying to pick them apart and just break them down.
Can you talk a little bit about Caitlin? Your coach already did, but how she's grown and what she was able to do today.
Yeah, she had a great game. Her and Lizzie and Ashley and everyone had a great game. It takes all 5, it takes all 11 of us. Caitlin has grown so much this year, and she kind of had a couple of hurdles in the beginning, and she's gotten over them, and really came on strong and really understands what we need her to be, and has really taken over that role. And I'm super proud of her, and I'm super proud of Lizzie and the rest of the team. And it's nice because we're young, so that means we got a lot of people coming back next year, and you know what? But this season isn't over, and we're ready to go.
Thank you guys this year
Thank you.
for being with us the whole time. So really appreciate that.